We're going to start with AOL and AOL's sale of patents to Microsoft yesterday. Is that going to be? It was a lot of money, right? We're talking about a lot of money, $1 billion. But will it be enough to satisfy AOL investors? Hey! Shalini Ramachandran is here with us. She's right here, standing next to me, to tell us about this one. Let's talk about this, because that was a big number, right? $1 billion, 800 patents.
Right.
Is that going to be enough? That's the big question now, right?
Yeah.
I mean, is that going to be enough?
Will take the pressure off Tim Armstrong, because, I mean, there's been a lot of pressure on him ever since he started buying up these content businesses, because the advertising sales haven't been doing so well. They came up a little bit in the last couple of quarters, but it's still been, the big idea is that this internet company that was giving all these internet people internet is now facing a bunch of content businesses that aren't doing so well, and he's been had a lot of pressure been put on him. I mean, there was a proxy battle from Starboard Valley LP. Then they were always talking about this patent portfolio and whether they should monetize it, what they should do with it. And this definitely takes some pressure off of them.
Right. Now, the shareholders, and especially one in particular, were agitating for this move. They wanted them to sell the patents. They saw some value there. Great, they got it. I think about half the money AOL is going to return to shareholders, right? So basically a $500 million payday. That's good for shareholders. But, and I think this gets to the real heart of the problem with AOL. You pointed it out. What is their business model? I mean, their business model, it seems like it ages in dog years. It is not something that's cutting edge. I mean, cutting edge is, look, this is on, steal Mike Casey's phone. You had a company that 2 years ago didn't exist. They invented an app for this thing. They sold for $1 billion.
Right, same price yesterday. Exactly. Yeah.
What does AOL do to maintain themselves as a profitable business?
Just to make one more point of that $1 billion went for an application which was an invention. This is a whole pile of patents that potentially within them could have some diamond in the rough that would turn into something,
that's a good point.
I mean, but it's the plumbing. It's internet's basic plumbing that all these apps and all these other softwares builds upon. So it's good for like a defensive weapon. So if a technology company,
it's not going to turn you into a billionaire overnight.
No, because it's like for cookies and for secure transactions, all these patents that a lot of people use.
Right.
But what does AOL do next? How much time does $500 million in dividend buy them? That's the question.
Right, because it's not that they're actually making some brand new invention and coming up with a lot of innovation.
Because they just sold it.
Right.
What you were talking about, Mike Casey, they just sold it.
Yep.
So I mean, what you'd hope that they do is keep some of that money for themselves to invest in their company, invest in something better. But so that's why probably not all the money is going to shareholders, but it's something that's going to make shareholders happy.
But let's face it, what is content? The content model is basically get the best content that's out there. And
content is king.
Content is king. We've heard that before.
As we
do indeed live by this. We do indeed live by this motto over here.
Let's get it clear.
But the bottom line is, people, you attract eyeballs for the quality of your content, and that's the thing. You can't just do that overnight. You have to build, a big pool of content providers, journalists and the like, right? I mean, is that is that part of the problem?
Well, I mean, they have the Huffington Post, and I mean that's a different kind of journalism. And they have a few, Patch, which is a network of like 800 little news sites. So, and Patch there's been a lot of criticism about that. Maybe it hasn't been making as much money as 800 news sites should be making off of ad revenue. But so people have been putting a lot of skepticism on whether this content acquisition has been doing any good for the company.
Yeah, I got to tell you, not to rip them apart, but I went to the AOL.com, the portal yesterday, and it looks old. I'm sorry, Tim Armstrong. It looks old. It just doesn't look like something that's here now and happening. All that stuff. This story is going to go on for a long time. I'm sorry, Shalini. Thank you very much for coming on. We appreciate it.